A remarkable sculpture by Alexander Calder, crafted from metal and wire, showcases both stability and movement, a harmonious blend of mobile and stable. This piece boasts a balanced base and an elegantly moving upper section.
This is wonderful because you have the base and this amazingly balanced piece. Maybe you could show us how it's balanced. And that's it. And what is there, a little indentation
Just a
there?
little hole in the...
And it sits right there.
A small indentation adds to its unique character, revealing the artistry and craftsmanship inherent in Calder's work. His signature pressed into the side confirms its authenticity. At 14, a young traveler's European adventure led him to Calder's compound, thanks to a family friend married to the artist's daughter. On his 15th birthday in 1969, Calder gifted the boy this sculpture, likely created during the same time he was observed at work.
What did he say?
He didn't say much. He wasn't a very talkative person, but he was very humorous.
Calder, a titan of 20th century sculpture, transformed modern art with his inventive designs and constructions. This sculpture's provenance is exceptional, with a narrative connecting it directly to Calder's studio. Pending authentication from the Alexander Calder Foundation, its estimated market value ranges between...
This would be $250,000.
Wow. Spectacular.
Yeah.
Passed from her grandmother to her father, she's next in line to inherit it. This 1830 French musical pocket watch highlights elegant craftsmanship and mechanical innovation. A standout feature of this pocket watch is its enamel-painted dial, depicting a detailed port scene with ships, figures, and an American flag. These enamel paintings required skilled artistry to endure the delicate firing process. The French call the intricate back engraving guilloche, or engine turning.
Notice at the center how it's indented a little bit right there? That is called a bullseye crystal. Can't get those today.
Its inner cover of the watch, called a cuvette in French, served as a dust cover to protect the movement. It features two holes. Two mechanisms power the watch, a smaller barrel for the mainspring and a larger barrel for the musical part. Musical watches were prized for playing a melody when wound, delighting the owner. Echoing the elegance of a bygone era, the appraiser valued the item.
I think this watch would easily bring between $15,000 and $20,000.
Wow, that is quite the shock. It's been in the safety deposit for like 20 years. So wow.
On display at the show is glassware inherited by the guest from her mother's family 30 years ago. This glassware was made by Tiffany & Co. circa the 1920s. The type of glass used in this piece is known as Cypriot glass. Cypriot glass has a shimmering iridescent surface that gives it an antique, weathered appearance. It is distinguished by its irregular, pitted and textured surface, clearly visible on the vase. Cypriot glass was designed to emulate the corroded look of ancient glass found at archaeological sites.
What it's meant to replicate is how the excavated Roman glass looked when it was discovered. Usually what happened over the time that it was buried, the chemicals in the minerals and moisture in the dirt or the sand would react with the surface of glass. It would create something that looked just like this.
Creating this glass vase involves a somewhat complex technique that requires specialized skill. Upon examining the bottom of the vase, we can see the maker's mark along with numbers and letters indicating the year it was made.
This has a suffix letter P, which indicates that the piece was made between 1926 and 1929.
For glassware approximately a century old, its current physical condition is remarkable. Tiffany glassware is highly sought after by collectors, and in this condition, this piece could easily command.
Something like this would be $25,000 in a retail store.
Oh, Lord. Maybe I better insure it.
While helping a friend clean up an attic, this guest discovered this piece and immediately fell in love with it.
I had a friend who was helping clean out her attic, and we found it. I fell in love with it and ended up purchasing it from her.
As a silver collector with a family history of collecting silver pieces for generations, the guest was drawn to this find. The item presented is a sterling silver presentation punch bowl, crafted in Philadelphia in 1904. The bowl features an intricate engraving of a yacht on its front, adding to its aesthetic and historical appeal. The appraiser identifies this design as typical of bowls gifted to retiring Commodores of the Philadelphia Yacht Club.
And it's a presentation punch bowl with an engraved yacht on the front of it. It was given to a Commodore upon his retirement from being a Commodore of the Philadelphia Yacht Club.
Engraved on the bowl is the yacht of the retired Commodore, named Geraldo, displayed within an ornate cartouche surrounded by floral designs. Accompanying the bowl is a silver ladle, originally crafted by Dominic and Half in New York. The appraiser believes that Caldwell likely acquired the ladle and then decorated it to complement the punch bowl's design. The ladle showcases the same decorative motif as the bowl, including a striking rope pattern along its edge, which matches the rim of the punch bowl. This matching rope detail further supports the theory that both pieces were custom designed to form a cohesive set. The bowl stands on a finely constructed circular base, featuring intricate sea monster faces emerging from its bottom edge. The piece was made by the Caldwell family in Philadelphia, who were known as the major fine jewelry institution of Philadelphia in the 19th century. On the back of this piece is an inscription showing the piece was dedicated to Commodore Abraham L. English by the Philadelphia Yacht Club in 1904. Above the dedication are his initials written in solid gold, which add great value to this piece. Currently in rather poor condition, this piece would benefit greatly from a thorough cleaning, which would enhance its value, potentially worth.
To be offered in a good auction house, it would probably be sold for around $8,000 to $12,000.
Wow, okay. It's more than I expected for sure.
A guest brought in a family heirloom doll named Hansi Czech, which her great-grandmother had brought over from Czechoslovakia. It was passed down to her father, who then gave it to them. The expert explained that the doll was actually made in Germany, likely around 1910, and was possibly sold in Czechoslovakia as a souvenir. It was crafted by the Kessner Company, which was known for its quality dolls and used King of the Doll Makers as a marketing slogan. The doll was made from bisque for the head and composition for the body, featuring unique mouth-blown glass googly eyes. The doll retained its original mohair wig, felt hat with silk flowers and embroidered ribbon, adding cultural significance. The appraiser noted that the doll had a cheerful expression with a slight hint of mischief. While the head was in excellent condition, there was some toe damage. Due to its rarity and overall good condition, the retail value was determined to be.
In today's market, his retail value with the damage would be somewhere between $4,500 and $6,500.
Curiosity sparked when an ordinary object was discovered, hinting at a hidden story. In a thrift store in Florence, South Carolina, a drawing caught the guest's attention, priced at just $2.
I thought, well, it's an interesting piece. I think people will talk about it, so for $2, that's worthwhile.
The artwork featured expressive faces that revealed deep emotions. A connection formed, making it a perfect addition to an office space. A name on the back sparked intrigue: Donald Batchelor. Research began to uncover the journey of an artist born in 1956. Once a janitor in a museum, he cleaned floors by night.
So he went to art school, he earned a BFA and an MFA, and he got really interested in German art.
Driven by passion, pursued art studies and joined New York's East Village scene. His neo-expressionist style was bold and playful. The infusion of tea and ink in the piece lent it an exquisite charm, transforming it into a captivating blend of artistry and storytelling. After Batchelor's passing in April 2022, work gained attention. What began as a simple find could fetch as follows.
If we were estimating this work at auction, we would estimate it at $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh, wow. That is quite impressive for a $2 investment, I have to say.
With that said, the visit was deemed successful, leaving anticipation for more. This is an unusual piece of jewelry because it's a perfume bottle. The jewelry is called a scent flask, and it was used by ladies to provide a pleasant scent. It also doubles as an antique piece of jewelry and is quite rare. The body of the piece is crafted using a unique type of enamel work called Champlevé enamel.
They engrave the design into the surface of the gold, they fill it with enamel, and then they sand it flush to the gold.
From close observation, we can see that the bottle combines turquoise and Persian turquoise designs. The bottle dates back to between 1850 and 1860, during the peak of exotic jewelry pieces.
When there was a sort of interest in exoticism related to North Africa, Moorish designs, and to Middle Eastern designs especially.
It's also equipped with a dragon-shaped brooch, which was used to attach the bottle to a collar. This kind of perfume flask is a one-of-a-kind piece that is rarely seen. The bottle is also adorned with 18-karat gold, which is interestingly handmade. If this rare piece were to be sold at auction, one could easily expect an estimate of around.
I would estimate at auction, a piece like this would be worth somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000.
What we have are archives from a concentration camp survivor associated with Theresienstadt, also known as Terezin.
And she and her parents were imprisoned there for 3 years.
The artist of these paintings used bags of canvas to create 3 distinct works. Furthermore, these paintings likely represent the artist's vision of the Terezin camp experience. The subject matter as the identity of the artist. Franz Peter Keen make these paintings quite unusual.
Depicting the camp and getting the message out that this was not the model camp, but was actually a tragic situation.
Franz was a well-known Czech artist recognized for his poignant work within the camp at Terezin. However, valuing these pieces in a modern context is challenging because they are considered priceless.
Monuments demands inhumanity to man.
The artist's signature appears in various forms on some of the artworks. Additionally, among the Holocaust archives is documentation related to the guest family, including a pass from a displaced person's camp. There is also a work pass stamped with the appropriate markings. In today's market, given their historical significance, an auction estimate for these pieces would be valued at.
An auction estimate for this would have to be in the neighborhood of $10,000 to $15,000 for the three works.
This painting originally belonged to the guest's mother-in-law and was created in 1930. The artist of this painting is Inga Irving Kaus. Inga Irving Kaus was an American artist and a founding member and first president of the...
He was a very interesting artist. He was one of the founders of the Taos School, and he was the first president of the Taos Society of Artists.
This work was completed after he became a national academician, as evidenced by his signature in the lower left, E.I. Kaus, along with the inscription N.A., which stands for National Academician. The National Academy is an honorary organization of artists that elects its members. In addition, this painting is an oil on canvas. It depicts an image of an Indian woman. Furthermore, this piece likely dates from the late 1920s to the early 1930s based on the handling of the work.
It's very competent, but there's some generalized drawing.
However, there are some generalized drawings that exhibit characteristics of a later, more modern painting style. The medium of this painting is oil on board. In terms of retail replacement value, given its significance and provenance, it would fetch around
$75,000.
That's good. Yeah, great. Terrific.
An extraordinary piece of Liverpool pottery appears by the guest on the show. She inherited this fascinating piece in his possession from his father's estate. This pot bears a Herculaneum mark, the name of a well-known Liverpool pottery. On the front, where the heart of Oxford and its iconic spires soar into the sky, its foreground is a deep, vibrant blue, richer than the usual hues of boats and striking bold against the soft pale blues beyond. A remarkable, real three-dimensional scene was made by transfer printing around 1820. Exquisite print on the pottery was first created on paper, and then transferred onto the pot by rubbing the back of the paper. A masterpiece of craftsmanship, intricately designed to embody the spirit of a true meat connoisseur. America was renowned for producing high-quality blue transfer-printed wares. An unmatching piece of this unique pottery item would likely fetch an impressive price at auction.
Today, that's probably going to be worth somewhere in the region of £1,500 to £2,500.
Thank you.
A noteworthy rugby memorabilia was presented to the show. All the items belong to the guest's grandfather, Austin, who played for Warrington in the 1950s. This collection includes shirts, medals, and invitations to dinner receptions. One item still even has a bit of Wembley turf on it, which is a memory. These kits are from a final played in the 1953-54 season, with the first kit used at Wembley. A historic 10,000-strong crowd was a record attendance in Bradford, a rugby milestone. Rugby is said to have originated at Rugby School in Warwickshire, England in 1823. Historical memorabilia are estimated at auction with a high price.
I should think they'd be worth somewhere between £2,000 and £3,000.
Wow.
Thank you so much for bringing in to Roadshow.
Paintings are a form of visual art that have been created throughout history using various techniques and mediums. This painting has been in the house of our guest for many generations. The painting on display was made by an artist known as Grandma Moses. Grandma Moses, also known as Anna Mary Robertson, was a renowned American folk artist, known for her vibrant and charming paintings.
Well, she was an elderly woman.
Right.
We knew her from about 1940. So this was before she really became famous.
Right.
This painting is an original with a primitive style, characterized by a naive and simple depiction of subjects.
Was the house there when you were there?
Oh, yes. It was the original house where we knew her before she got famous, and they built her a swell home.
Furthermore, the painting is titled The Checkerboard House, one of her best paintings. Beneath the painting, there is an inscription by the artist showing her name. On the back of the painting, there is a label that carries her picture and an inventory number. The label also carries the date when it was painted, September 2nd, 1942. Considering the authentic nature of this painting, it will command a value of...
I put an insurance value of about $60,000 on it.
Within the National Museum of Toys and Miniatures, enchanting miniature villages showcase dollhouses from various historical eras and cultures. Recently, Roadshow collaborated with an appraiser to explore these intricate representations of life in miniature. Dollhouses have fascinated collectors across cultures for centuries, originating in the 16th and 17th centuries as display cabinets rather than houses. These cabinets open to reveal collections of miniatures that wealthy women acquired from around the world. By the 18th century, doll cabinets crafted by skilled cabinet makers were made specifically for children, often replicating the design of grand manor houses. By the 19th century, dollhouse production was commercialized, making them more widely available. Two examples on display include an American Bliss dollhouse and a German Gottschalk model. Bliss often marked its dollhouses with a small label on the front, and this particular example from the 1890s features original papered floors and walls, with lace curtains likely added later.
You'll see all the original papers on the floor and on the walls, and the lace curtains, which probably aren't original to the house.
In contrast, the Gottschalk house is simpler in design but includes electrical wiring, a common feature by the late 19th century.
Spindles and doors and everything, but it's still a desirable house. This one is actually electrified, which was very common at the end of the 19th century.
In the retail market, the German Gottschalk house, due to its historical significance and craftsmanship, would likely command a substantial price of
between $2,000 and $2,500.
Meanwhile, the delicate and ornate Bliss dollhouse, given its fragility and detail, could be valued at.
You'd probably have to pay between $5,000 and $6,000 for that on the retail market.
For this segment, our guest brought a vintage gambling wheel to the show.
My grandparents and great-grandparents had a lot of antiques, and it's one of the things that I was fortunate enough to get. My brother told me it might have been something that was used back on the trains for gambling.
This wheel is crafted from high-quality wood and features meticulous hand-painting with bold colors and numbers. The name Kelly MFG Co., the manufacturer of this piece, is displayed prominently on the wheel. It includes a spring-loaded clapper that clicks along small metal dividers as the wheel spins. This clicker not only serves a functional purpose, but also adds excitement to each spin as it gradually slows down and stops. The layout of numbers or symbols on the wheel could vary depending on the specific game it was used for. Judging by the design, we can estimate that it was made circa 1899 to 1900. To ensure stability during a spin, the wheel has a weighted base to prevent tipping. Given its age, most surviving Kelly wheels show signs of wear, but this one on display has been exceptionally well preserved. At auction, a vintage gambling wheel in this mint condition would be valued at.
It should certainly bring in the $1,500 range.
Really?
Well, just give it a spin and...
Yeah.
Humans appreciate any item that serves as a tangible connection to memories and emotions, providing a way to cherish and reflect. Our guest here brought a fob she purchased at an antique store. This piece is a watch fob, a decorative item that was traditionally attached to a pocket watch or chain. Watch fobs were popular in the 19th and 20th centuries and often featured intricate designs.
This is not just a fob, it has a little secret.
This piece is hinged and contains some braided hair inside. A fob containing hair is a type of memorial or mourning jewelry that was popular in the 18th and 19th centuries. Unfortunately, this fob belonged to someone who passed away, which is quite sad. On the piece, the dates 12th May 1864 to 25th March 1866 are inscribed. Interestingly, this amazing memorial piece was purchased for about $200. Considering the story behind this memorial fob, it will command a price of...
I think I would have it in for $800 to $1,200.
Very nice. It was such a sweet thing in there.
He inherited the piece from his mother about 3 years ago. This Kiowa beaded and fringed dress showcases the artistry and cultural traditions of the Kiowa people. It was made from tanned deer, elk, or buffalo hide, abundant to the Kiowa. Tanning required skilled labor to scrape, soak, and smoke the hide into durable fabric.
The hide is deer. It's native tanned. It would have been softened and prepared with the mashed up brains of deer. It would provide both acid and lanolin.
Beadwork represented tribal affiliation and status, with Kiowa women using it to tell stories and mark life events. Fringe added movement and visual interest, serving aesthetic and cultural purposes in ceremonies and dances. For the Kiowa, fringe symbolized connections to the earth and animated the dress during ceremonies. These dresses were made for important occasions like marriages and could be passed down as heirlooms. Rich in cultural significance and history, the appraiser valued the item.
On a retail basis, I would value this at around $7,000. It's highly desirable. I can't tell you how much we enjoy seeing this.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do.
This painting belonged to the guest's great-grandfather, and it actually depicts his ship. The man was Marcus L. Uran, as seen on the flag. Marcus L. Uran was the founder of Ocean Spray Cranberries. According to a 1917 article in the New York Times, the ship, a cargo schooner, was transporting lumber from Naples, Florida to New York when it encountered a series of storms. Most of the crew was lost at sea. The article detailed that only 3 people survived and provided an in-depth account of the event.
I guess Naples, Florida, to New York, and it hit a series of storms.
The ship itself is fascinating, as is the artist who painted it. Solon Badger, born in Massachusetts in 1873, was a noted artist who specialized in ship portraits. He passed away in 1919. This painting is inscribed on the reverse with Charlestown, Mass., the location of Badger's studio. What truly sets this painting apart from many others by Badger is that it portrays a 5-masted ship, each mast bearing a flag, including an American flag in a painting. Whether of a ship or a city scene significantly enhances its desirability. This piece is oil on canvas, with much of the rigging carefully rendered in pencil. One remarkable aspect of this painting is its condition, untouched. Although it has a small few dings, it is far better preserved in its original state than if it had been restored. The pigments used for the sails and rigging are quite delicate, so cleaning could risk removing them. The painting exudes a unique energy when preserved in its original condition and backed by such clear provenance.
This is catnip in the trade. It creates an energy when you have a painting.
The market for Badger's work has been somewhat erratic in recent years. In 2008, a 5-master by Badger was sold at auction for approximately $25,000. For insurance purposes, however, this painting would be valued at around.
I would insure this for closer to $35,000.
$35,000.
The piece of furniture brought in was inherited by the owner from her aunt. Stylistically, it would have been fashionable in England at the beginning of the 18th century, around 1720 to 1740. The style is known as Queen Anne, and this piece is a cross-banded Burl walnut cabinet. It displays many features typical of English furniture from that era, such as a beautifully shaped pediment, mirrored doors, the choice of woods, and the candle slides, all indicative of the period.
I think she told me I couldn't afford it.
That you could, well, a good thing you inherited it. Stylistically, this would have been fashionable in England.
However, this piece is not actually from the 18th century, nor is it likely from the 19th. It was probably crafted in the early 20th century with the intention of deceiving. In other words, this is a replica, not as old as it appears to be. One way to identify its true age is by examining the physical evidence. If it were genuinely 300 years old, it would show much more wear and age-related distress, such as cracks and replaced veneers. Additionally, there are no repairs to the feet, and there is no shrinkage in the molding, both signs one would expect in an authentic 18th century piece. Looking at the back, the color varies from top to bottom, a clear sign of staining, which is often a trick used to make furniture appear older.
Of a piece of furniture, the same materials would have been used on the upper section.
In the 18th century, the same materials would have been used throughout the piece to speed up production, meaning the upper and lower sections would match in thickness and wood quality. However, on this piece, the thickness of the drawer fronts and the sides differ. The dovetails are inconsistent and the color varies. In keeping with English tradition, oak was used as a secondary wood. Other telltale signs include the batwing brass hardware, which is often associated with the early 18th century. However, these are not original, as evidenced by extra holes, suggesting previous hardware was used. In conclusion, while this cabinet was likely made in England in the English tradition, it is not from the period it emulates. If it were an authentic 18th century piece, it would likely be valued at $40,000 to $60,000 at auction. However, as a 20th century reproduction, it would likely be estimated at around.
It would be estimated at maybe $4,000 to $6,000.
I'll take it home and enjoy it now and won't worry about damage.
Taking it home is the perfect thing to do with it.
This guest brought a bracelet and a ring to the show, both of which were acquired from a family friend.
And when she passed, she left these 2 items to me in her will, and I remember admiring the ring because that was something that she would always wear when I'd see her Sunday night.
The bracelet is a classic 1940s piece, adorned with European-cut diamonds totaling 8 carats. Additionally, the bracelet features straight baguette-cut diamonds intricately basket-woven into the design, weighing a total of 10 carats. Crafted from platinum, the design indicates that it was made in the United States. Although there are no maker's marks on the bracelet, it remains highly valuable due to the quality of the stones. At auction, it is estimated to fetch.
I believe you'd have to put the bracelet at $35,000.
Wow.
We also have a ring on display featuring a 15.4mm pearl at its center. The ring is beautifully set with pave diamonds on the sides, weighing a total of 6 carats and is also crafted in platinum. This ring dates back to the mid-20th century, and on the inside we find the maker's mark, Van Cleef & Arpels. Van Cleef & Arpels is a French luxury jewelry company that was founded in 1896. Their pieces often featured flowers, animals, and fairies. At auction, given the exceptional quality of this piece and the renown of its maker, it's estimated to be worth.
For insurance replacement, would probably be close to the $60,000.
Oh my goodness, thank you.
A flintlock rifle with distinct historical markings dates back to early American firearms manufacturing.
We have P and E.W. Blake. Do you know who that is?
No.
Nobody else did either.
Acquired in the early 1980s, this rifle proudly bears the name P and E.W. Blake, linking it to Eli Whitney's talented nephews. After Whitney died in 1825, the Blakes honored him by branding their rifles with their names. Although the Blake name was unfamiliar to most, Eli Whitney's reputation was widely recognized due to his invention of the cotton gin. Crafted in 1826, this firearm is one of about 15,000 rifles produced by the Blake nephews between 1826 and 1830. By 1830, they reverted to the Whitney name for brand recognition. Highlighting its historical significance, this piece retains matching dates on both the lock plate and barrel. Its original flintlock configuration, combined with a .69 caliber, further enhances its authenticity and appeal. In today's retail market, the rifle's estimated value is approximately
Just a fantastic old gun. This gun would probably bring about $2,500 on the retail market.
My brother will definitely take more of an interest in it.
With every indication, we can verify that this dress is from Chinese origin, and it is from the Chinese Qing dynasty. The Qing dynasty, also known as the Manchu dynasty, was China's last imperial dynasty, lasting from 1644 to 1912. This beautiful dress has a history of being gifted to the guest's aunt when she was in China by Princess Derling. The historical context surrounding this dress indicates that it is an informal court robe. This dress has 3 dragons depicted in the front, 5 on the back, which includes the 2 on the shoulders. In addition, there is also a secret dragon inside the flap of the robe, which makes 9 dragons on this dress in total.
I've never seen that. That is amazing.
Moreover, this Chinese dress is probably made for a Chinese prince.
Well, the Dowers had a son, and he was the prince, the heir of the throne. Because of the Boxer Rebellion, he never came to power.
However, the real owner of this dress is not known because there are many princes. Remarkably, this robe is in a very good condition, which adds to its value. In an auction, due to its historical significance, this beautiful robe would fetch an estimated price of
You are in the vicinity of about $15,000 to $25,000 at auction.
Gosh. Oh, gee, I better take good care of it then.
This guest presents a cherished family heirloom passed down through 2 generations. This photograph was given to the guest's grandfather to commemorate the christening of the Akron airship.
My grandfather was an executive at Goodyear. That's why he was given this, to commemorate that.
The USS Akron was a helium-filled airship built for the U.S. Navy, operating between September 1931 and April 1933. It was the world's first purpose-built flying aircraft carrier, capable of carrying F-9C Sparrowhawk fighter planes that could be launched and retrieved while airborne. At an impressive 785 feet, 239 meters long, the Akron and its sister ship, the Macon, were among the largest flying objects ever constructed and hold the record as the largest helium-filled airships. The guest's grandfather, an executive at Goodyear, received this photograph as a commemorative gift at the airship's christening. This image was taken by Margaret Burke White, a pioneering American documentary and industrial photographer. Burke White was the first foreign photographer allowed to capture Soviet industry during the Soviets' initial 5-year plan, and was also the first American female war photojournalist.
One of the many strengths of Margaret Burke White was to take these large industrial objects and humanize them to create fine art.
Notably, she took the famous photograph of the Fort Peck Dam construction that appeared on the cover of Life magazine's first issue. The photograph of the USS Akron is in its original presentation frame, made of duralumin, the material used in constructing the airship itself, which was built by Goodyear Zeppelin for the US Navy. These framed pictures were gifted to company employees, so the exact number of pieces in existence is uncertain. While this print has a few condition issues, its historical provenance maintains its value. If brought to auction, this iconic piece would likely sell for an estimated.
I would price this for auction at $4,000 to $6,000.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
Paintings have been a vital part of human expression and culture for centuries, serving multiple purposes beyond mere aesthetics. Our guest inherited this painting from his father, who purchased it in the late 1940s. This painting was created by Gerard Curtis Delano. Gerard Curtis Delano was an American artist and illustrator, best known for his stunning paintings of Native American tribes and the American West.
Started off in New York City as an illustrator, and then came west for the first time. He moved to Colorado in 1919. Kind of fell in love with the West.
He studied art at the Art Institute of Chicago and later at the Académie Julian in Paris. This painting was created in Canyon de Chelly, a Navajo tribal trust land located in northeastern Arizona, USA. Interestingly, the size of the figure in this painting is the size of a quarter, which makes this piece an exceptional work. This painting also bears the artist's signature in the bottom right corner. Gerard Delano's paintings are highly valued and can fetch significant prices, reflecting the high demand and appreciation for his work.
There was one that sold a few years ago that sold for almost $1.5 million.
However, this particular painting in today's auction market is expected to command a price of
Would probably sell for between $40,000 and $60,000.
Yes. All right, thank you.
When this guest was 7 years old, his mother bought him a birthday gift from an antique store, which is the antique spoon on display today. Judging by the craftsmanship of this spoon, we can tell it is over a century old and originated from one of the Canadian indigenous tribes, the Athabascan. The spoon was crafted from a mountain sheep's horn and has suffered some wear over time, though this does not significantly affect its value.
You can tell when you turn it over, you can see how it's got these ridges go around it, and that's the ridges of the horn where they polished it off.
In an auction setting, a tribal spoon from North America like this would sell for
easily $800 to $1,000.
Wow.
Another item brought along by our guest is a wooden doll he purchased from a seller many years ago. Although the origin of this doll is unknown, it has several interesting features that make it valuable. The doll's boots have intricate embroidery and are made from dyed seal gut. Interestingly, the doll's boots can be removed, revealing the carved wooden leg, which is pinned together. Not many dolls of this type have been seen on the show, making this piece a rare find. Considering the rarity of this doll and the intricacy of its boot design, this doll is estimated to be worth
$2,000 to $3,000.
Oh my God. Wow.
So, pretty good buy.
That's incredible.
Drawing is the art of creating images or designs using various tools and techniques, and people are always appreciative of it. Here we have a drawing and a letter that accompanied it, both belonging to the mother-in-law of our guest.
It was in my mother's bureau drawer for approximately 30 years.
This drawing and letter are from the popular artist Tom Wesselman. Tom Wesselman was an American artist associated with the pop art movement, known for his work in painting, collage, and sculpture.
Tom Wesselman did a great deal of his work in New York.
This drawing was an original work for his future piece, Still Life 61. Interestingly, this artwork has been framed, providing a physical barrier against damage, dust, and UV light, all of which can cause art to deteriorate. The letter written by Tom was intended to enlighten her about the essence of the artwork he sent, which was an original of his future work. A still life study such as this is an artistic exploration of inanimate objects, such as fruit, vegetables, household items, and many more. This work is executed in pencil and colored pencil on paper, a wonderful combination for creating art. It is also inscribed, signed, and dated along the bottom edge of the drawing.
For Esther, Tom Wesselman, 75.
Due to the combination of the letter and the original drawing, this collection is expected to fetch a price of
I think at auction right now, you're realistically looking at $25,000 to $35,000.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
This piece is one of the most unusual items to film for the Roadshow.
It was with some other fabric on a rolled tube.
What we have here is a remarkable weaving that was purchased at an estate sale, showcasing the unique artistry of its creator. The artist behind this piece is Peter Collingwood, a notable figure in the world of textile art. Born in London in 1922, Collingwood was initially destined for a career in medicine, but he ultimately found his passion in weaving after studying under the renowned weaver Ethel Myritt.
And then create scarves for the officers' wives. But also when he was there, he was given a gift of a Bedouin tent hanging.
This particular piece dates back to the 1960s, a time when Collingwood began creating a series of works that pushed the boundaries of traditional weaving techniques. These works are known as macro gauze, a term that refers to a distinctive style of weaving characterized by its intricate patterns and textures. Described as a mixed media weaving, this piece incorporates various materials, highlighting Collingwood's innovative approach to his craft. Due to its unique design and the artist's reputable background, this piece carries significant provenance. Collingwood's work continues to inspire and resonate within the textile art community, making this piece a noteworthy addition to any collection. In an auction setting reflecting its artistic value and rarity, it would likely fetch a conservative price of
fetch between $5,000 and $8,000.
I would like to hear that again. Really.
Oil painting is a technique that involves painting with pigments mixed with a medium of drying oil as a binder. What we have here is an oil-on-canvas painting by André Servan. Magnificently, this painting is marked lower right on the checkered floor. Furthermore, this painting portrays the death of King Henry IV. William IV was King of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland from the 26th of June 1830 until his death in 1837.
Who was known as the Good King, or Henry the Great. He was a celebrated figure in French history.
Also, this painting depicts him on his deathbed after a final assassination attempt, which was successful. In addition, this painting is done in the style of neoclassicism. Commonly, neoclassicism began in the late 18th century and lasted until about 1830. Furthermore, neoclassicism was supplanted by romanticism. Also, there are a lot of emotions being depicted in this painting. Typically, what subjects this painting to neoclassicism is its limited palette. Additionally, there are also strong horizontals and verticals, and the subject matter is historical.
The artist lived from 1842 to 1883. We don't know exactly when it was painted, but sometime during that period, probably after 1850.
Given the size of this painting and its provenance in an auction, it would be valued at a substantial price of $40,000.
I would easily put an auction estimate on this painting of $20,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
Discoidal or chunky stones date back thousands of years, with various cultures using them in jewelry and decorative objects. The mother of our guest picked up this piece from a trash pile. The chunky stone was used for the chunky game in Mississippian culture, dating back to 1000 to 1500 AD. This game was often played in ceremonial centers and public spaces, as it was a popular pastime among people of all ages. The chunky game involves players taking turns to roll or toss chunky stones, aiming to get them as close as possible to a target. Interestingly, there are other discoidals that can be described as typical Tennessee discoidals, as they have distinct features. This discoidal is different from a typical Tennessee piece because it features a hole instead of a dimple. Furthermore, these discoidals are made in different sizes, with larger ones being more significant. This piece was made using both stone and wood instruments to grind it into form. Due to the significance of this discoidal, it will command a value of
At auction, on a bad day, I would expect this to go for $3,000 to $5,000. Wow. Yeah.
On June 12, 1939, at the Hall of Fame opening in Cooperstown, his grandfather hid in the bathroom and later emerged to collect autographs from baseball legends. In 1939, baseball's centennial celebration marked 100 years since the mythic founding by Abner Doubleday. The portrait showcased legends like Cy Young, Christy Mathewson, Babe Ruth, and Lou Gehrig. The autographs included Babe Ruth, Walter Johnson, Honus Wagner, Cy Young, Connie Mack, Larry LeJoie, and Tris Speaker. The left side of the program features Hall of Fame immortals before 1900 and Hall of Fame immortals of modern baseball, highlighting legends from both eras.
It's a large program, and you had some other signers. Really strong autographs. It's a delicate piece. There's Asian-induced wear and toning, the kind of thing you'd expect.
A black and white photo captures the 1939 inductees, featuring legendary players gathered for this historic occasion. This program celebrates baseball's growth as a cultural institution and its role in American society. Its rich history prompted the appraiser to assign a high value to the item.
We think an auction estimate appropriately is at $10,000 to $20,000. Right. Okay?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Granddad, this was his crown jewel. He knew he had something special.
The guest brought an unbound volume of Edward Curtis's photographs, which he had owned for 40 years. The volume contained images Curtis took in the 1920s when he traveled along the western Alaskan coast, visiting locations such as Nunivak Island, King Island, Kotzebue, Selawik, and Noatak. The photographs in the volume were of people and places familiar to the guest. Remarkably, one image in the collection included the guest's adoptive mother, known as Priscilla Hensley. Another photograph, titled Chikiktagruck, meaning small island, depicted the area where the guest was born. The photographs in Curtis's volume were described as authentic, with minimal posing or manipulation of the environment. The appraiser mentioned that although Curtis's work sometimes involved staging, these particular photos depicted real scenes and people. They discussed the market value of Curtis's work, emphasizing that the price depended on the image's prominence, subject, and size. Given the good condition, the auction value of this particular volume was estimated to be
probably expecting to see it go for around $10,000 at auction if everything is in really good condition.
At a humble house sale, a treasure was uncovered. Exquisite Yoruba Abeji twin figurines from Nigeria. Our guest purchased this item decades ago, yet its true value and significance remained hidden.
Did you pay for them?
About $25.
Okay.
Originating from the Yoruba tribe, Abeji honors the unique bond of twins and sibling connection. Crafted in the late 19th century, these figures held deep spiritual significance. Tradition says that when one twin passes, Abeji figurines provide a sacred vessel for their soul, embodying ancestral reverence and spiritual connection. The heritage of Nigeria shines through these intricate carvings, capturing cultural and historical significance. The Yoruba community treasures twinship, reflecting the strength of family and community ties. These figurines remain in perfect condition, with no damage to their intricate carvings. At auction, these Yoruba Abeji figurines would be valued at,
In today's market, $800 to $1,200.
Very nice.
For $25, that's not a bad investment.
I'll take it.
Surviving the turbulence of World War II, this incredible watch now graces us with its presence. According to the guest, her grandfather came into possession of this remarkable watch likely around 1944 or 1945.
Was stationed in some of the islands in outer Japan, and he somehow acquired this and mailed it back to his wife, my grandma Janet, in Chicago.
The watch is of Japanese origin, with striking Japanese characters engraved on the back as a testament to its heritage.
The maker of this is Seiko Shop. This was a very well-made timepiece.
Designed as a World War II Japanese pilot's watch, the symbols on the back confirm its Navy affiliation. Japanese Navy pilots were revered as the elite of the military, known for their exceptional skill and unwavering discipline. They were extensively trained in the art of aerial combat, with many becoming household names for their daring missions and bravery. Highly respected within Japan, they were considered superior to their army counterparts, with their status cemented by the crucial roles they played in naval warfare during World War II. While pilot watches are being recreated, the current trend is leaning toward larger models, adding a fashionable element to their appeal. This piece is exceptionally rare, standing amongst the rarest of World War II pilot watches.
Because Japanese naval aviators, their standards of training were very, very strict coming into World War II, so there weren't as many of them at the start of the war.
With its current condition, this watch would have an estimated retail value of
between $8,000 and $10,000.
I love it. My grandpa was an incredible man, and I'm lucky he was my grandfather.
If you're wondering what to give your daughter for her wedding, this rug could make all the difference. This is because it's an oriental rug crafted by the Central Asian Turkmen. More specifically, a subgroup of Turkmen called the Sarik were responsible for creating these pieces.
They were nomadic people. Their primary occupation was raising sheep, and they would chase pasture land across Central Asia.
The first distinct feature of the rug is its unique patterns, which show that it's foreign. What's more interesting is that for centuries, their weavings have remained unchanged. Despite changes over time, these pieces serve as great examples of longevity. This particular rug dates back to between 1860 and 1880 based on its appearance.
The Sarik use this is called a gul, which is really just Turkic for flower. So it's a stylized flower motif.
Its authenticity is further confirmed by the silk from which it was woven.
One of the other really interesting things about this piece in particular is all of the magenta color is all woven in silk.
As mentioned earlier, the piece was made to be used during marriages as a dowry. These rugs, or chuvals, are also special because they showcase a rich cultural heritage. Thus, if this Turkmen chuval rug were to be auctioned, one could expect a value of
in the $5,000 to $7,000 range retail.
Oh, wow.
One unique aspect of chefs is their love for culinary collectibles, which brings them great joy. This is exemplified by these seltzer bottles, purchased by the popular chef Carla Hall.
So these seltzer bottles were bought at a flea market.
Carla Hall is a beloved figure in the culinary and television world, celebrated for her expertise and infectious enthusiasm. The collectibles also include an ice cream scoop that belonged to her grandmother.
When I looked at it, I was thinking, oh my gosh, look at the hardware on this thing. It's nothing like the ice cream scoop.
These seltzers, known as soda siphons or carbonators, are devices that dispense carbonated water, typically used for making seltzer water or soda. They evoke memories of soda fountains, often a counter inside another store.
That you would go to get a fresh, fizzy drink.
This trend is first believed to have emerged between the 1850s and the 1950s. The bottle in the middle features a label with a Star of David, signifying Jewish heritage. Meanwhile, the ice cream scoop was invented in 1897 by Alfred Crail. Alfred L. Crail was an American businessman and inventor who patented ice cream mold and disher, which was an ice cream scoop with a built-in scraper to allow for one-handed operation. He developed this invention after noticing that soda jerks had trouble separating ice cream from the spoons they were using. This particular ice cream scoop was manufactured by the Benedict Manufacturing Group. This amazing ice cream scoop is expected to command a value of
Anywhere from $15 to $25 or $30. They don't bring a lot of money.
Meanwhile, the high-quality seltzer bottles are projected to attract a price of
Anywhere from $40 up to $120 or so per bottle.
a haunting figure with a storied past. This fisherman trade sign reveals the artistry and history of late 19th century commerce. The guest shared the story of a captivating fisherman figure discovered in a home once owned by his great-grandfather. This late 19th century trade sign originated from Alpena, Michigan.
What we have here is a late 19th century trade sign. It is a sign that is beckoning a profession where one would go in and buy fishing supplies for the profession.
As a child, the guest found the figure unnerving, with its piercing red eyes lurking in the dark corner of the basement. The piece, carved from white pine, was favored for its softness and paint-holding qualities. Crafted from a 2-foot log, it features a historic nameplate inscribed with T for Theodore Krongeyer, a known figure who created various trade signs in Detroit. This fisherman figure would have hung outside a shop, serving as a visual cue for illiterate immigrants in the late 1800s. An etched inscription on the side reads "Fisherman," added later, while the back displays a fascinating, weathered surface, likely affected by heat from the nearby coal bin. While estimating the item's worth, the appraiser said,
So we're going to put a retail valuation today of $3,000 to $5,000.
I'm amazed.
The appraiser emphasized its uniqueness and desirability, surprising the guest with its significant worth. Take a look at this incredible piece of history, a signed letter to Abraham Lincoln and a response from Lincoln himself. These letters, dating back to 1864, have been in the family since the guest's parents bought them in the early 1970s. Originally, the letter was written to Lincoln by William C. Thomas, a customs agent from Philadelphia, seeking a recommendation to help someone secure a job. Thomas had a direct connection to Lincoln, as he was appointed by the president himself to be the first Republican customs agent in Philadelphia, a prestigious post at the time. The guest remembers these letters well, recalling that they were an item of contention when her parents divorced, with her father ultimately taking ownership. After both parents passed away, this was the first item she wanted to reclaim. The letter contains many fascinating details. It's addressed to Salmon Chase, then Secretary of the Treasury, yet somehow reached Lincoln's desk. Lincoln's response was handwritten directly on Thomas's letterhead, showcasing his characteristic erratic handwriting. The authenticity is confirmed by both the ink scratches from the nib pen and a historical reference known as the Lincoln Log, which details Lincoln's whereabouts throughout his life. Records confirm that Lincoln was indeed in Washington, D.C. on the date of the letter, July 29, 1864, where he penned only 2 other letters that day. Having been professionally examined, it's suggested that the guest reframed the letters using archival methods to preserve them further. It's even possible to frame them with glass on both sides to view any additional details or notes on the reverse side. With such historical significance, this rare set is estimated to fetch.
At auction, I would say that your letter, I would estimate it at $8,000 to $10,000.